Welcome to 101. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. We've got a big day here at PAC 14. We've got my friend Carol Zimmerman from MAC Inc. in the house. Welcome, Carol.
Well, thank you, Greg, for having me here.
So I keep seeing you're having your 50th anniversary at MAC, and you're having a big expo coming up.
We are. So MAC is the Area Agency on Aging for the 4 lower counties here on the Eastern Shore, and it was established in 1972. And so we're celebrating 50 years, and we're going to do it with a very big day at the Wacomico Youth and Civic Center on June 11th. Starting out with a Souls for Seniors walk, and then going into an expo that you just talked about. So from 10 to 2, it's open to the public. We've teamed up with Tidal Health. They're bringing their Health Fest with all kinds of screenings and ask the pharmacist, ask a doctor. And then we'll probably have about 70 booths.
Wow.
And it's open for families as well as seniors to come and find out what kind of resources there are that not only MAC offers, but the community offers for seniors.
Saturday event?
Just a Saturday event,
okay.
All day Saturday. There'll be music, there'll be food concessions. As I said, there'll be all kinds of different booths where you can ask questions about whether it's engagement in hobbies or activities, volunteering opportunities, workforce opportunities, or questions about how do I find a good caregiver, or find out about information about advanced directives, any kind of information that seniors may be looking for to help them age in place.
I think people think of MAC as the senior center, but it's way more than that. Talk about all the things that MAC does.
Well, you're absolutely right, Greg. It's way more than that. And of course, senior centers are very important. And here in Wacomico County, we have 3 of them. One is at MAC, where seniors come 4 days a week and enjoy lunch and activities. But we also have a very robust fitness center where seniors can come enjoy either personal training, aerobics classes, stretch and tone, or machine work. And then we have a series of programs that some people are familiar with, like Meals on Wheels, some of our other kinds of programs to help people in the community. But we have probably 30 other programs that work specifically to help seniors and their families find those resources that they need to age in place. I'm particularly proud of one program that we got started, and it's for Alzheimer's and dementia patients.
Right.
And it's individuals, and it's a safe environment when they can no longer go to a senior center, or a loved one needs some respite care and wants their person with Alzheimer's and dementia to have a meaningful experience that's in a safe environment. So we have that program as well.
Yeah, so many people, people like me, my mother's 85, and, it comes on you real fast, and you don't really plan for it. And then when there's needs, you don't know where to go. So just an example, the Medicare Part A, B, C, I never understood that. I don't know what she needs, but someone like me can reach out to MAC and get the answers.
You're absolutely right. And where the first stop would be great for something like that is to give us a call, and you'll probably talk to someone in our MAPS or Maryland Access Point office. And they have at their fingertips information not only about people at MAC who can help, but other referrals depending on. So in your case, we might refer you to what's our SHIP program, the health insurance program, and talking about Part D and prescription that you have to renew each year. We have a wonderful staff that knows every detail about those kinds of programs.
Right. The MAC story is amazing. They used to be located over on Riverside Drive in sort of a dilapidated state facility. They hung in there for a long time, and they finally were able to build the nice center there behind Holly Center. What a great story MAC has been.
It has been an evolving story, and it's been a story, though, of dedication and passion and leadership and advocacy, and starting from the very beginning, and obviously under the leadership of Peggy Bradford and now Patty Tingle, there has been innovation, and it's really just not what we think of as just traditional senior center, but in fact understanding what are the statistics, the trends, And particularly, what are some of the real issues that our rural seniors face, and trying to step up and anticipate to meet those needs.
And that's the key, where you mentioned rural seniors. It's a different dimension with rural people, and our senior population is really exploding here because we're a very popular retirement destination.
For those seniors who live a little more remotely, say from Salisbury or some of the other city centers, there's a lot of challenges to find services and to access them. Transportation. As we get older, some of us are unable to drive and we don't have the kind of transportation. And for a lot of seniors, COVID in the last 2 years has really isolated them. So if they live in a more rural area, that isolation has really had an impact on not only their health, but depression, and just their whole way of life.
One of the themes of the show is I'm wrong about everything all the time. And I remember when the proposal was made to build the center, the new center, I was like, do they really need that? But Norm Conway and Peggy Bradford together made that happen. Some great people in the community made that happen. And the vision for what we were going to need in 20 years has been matched by that facility. Again, smart people, devoted, caring, determined to make that happen.
Well, you're absolutely right, Greg. And it was that foresight and that anticipation of where we were going to go. And in fact, now we're at a point where the board is probably going to start considering about how we're going to look at the next 20 years, the next 50 years. And we're already filled to the gills, literally space-wise, but also what are those things that we need to be anticipating, whether it's technological needs, whether it's assistive technology, whether it's workforce training for some of our seniors who want to work longer or part-time. So all those things are going to require different kinds of both physical facilities as well as staff.
Right. I need content from my favorite newspaper, the Salisbury Independent, and Cindy Robinson, who I worked with at the Daily Times for many years, is at MAC.
She is.
And she fills my inbox with all kinds of programs and seminars and health discussions that are going on there. They went on remotely during the pandemic. I think it would be really helpful for people who have health questions or developing health questions.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of the things I didn't mention, which is a very important part of what MAC does, is some of our wellness classes and our health classes related to managing chronic diseases like diabetes and hypertension. And there's a whole host of both classes around that, classes to help you with balance and preventing falls. That's one of the very serious thing for seniors as we get older. So I would encourage anybody who either has just a question or is concerned about some health issues to give us a call, and we might be able to hook you up with some things that help you stay in your home longer, what kind of home safety needs you might need, so that in fact you can start managing that and live a very productive years.
Tell me about the Meals on Wheels program, because it's just great, and it's sort of symbolic of all the things that MAC does.
Well, and most people are familiar with Meals on Wheels, but it is the core in so many ways of what we do. We have, I think, 360 people in Wacomico County alone, but MAC provides the meals for Somerset County as well. And so we have quite a few people who depend every day on meals. And it's not just the meal we deliver. It's the drivers themselves, and many of them are volunteers,
right,
who provide that friendly touch, that friendly hello, that wellness check that's so important for a senior living alone and might be the only person who stops by that day.
And they develop great relationships with these drivers, and they care about each other's lives in ways that you could never imagine.
You're absolutely right. Those drivers absolutely know and care about these people. And it was difficult in COVID to have less of contact with them, but we never stopped delivering a meal, not one day during the time we were supposed to. So that was something and that's thanks to the drivers. They were willing to keep on going out there, and even with the challenges of COVID, people got their meals.
Excellent kitchen facility out there. Every time I've eaten at events there, it's always been really good. I haven't had a Meals on Wheels meal, but I would imagine that they're equally as good.
Well, they are, and we go, obviously they are nutritionally balanced so that it meets the needs of seniors, but we try to make them interesting, and I shouldn't say we because I'm not the chef, but we have a terrific chef and a terrific kitchen staff who put a lot of love and thinking into those meals as well. But the drivers, I think, are the key link between what's an important meal, important nutrition, and once again, helping that senior live at home, and that socialization that's so important.
Right. Now, I'm rapidly approaching that super senior age, and I watch seniors closely to sort of get a hint of what my life is going to be like. And one thing I notice in people is they have so much pride, and a lot of that pride keeps them from perhaps reaching out when they need to. How do you all manage to deal with that?
That's a really excellent point because I think it's not only pride, but maybe a little bit of stubbornness
Yeah.
that we have as we get older that says, I don't want to admit that I might need some help or I might not be in quite as control as I'd like to. We have to deal with it in different ways, and I think particularly part of it is helping family members who are recognizing this, guiding them with some tools and some suggestions about how to approach getting your loved one, your father or your mother, into a program that might help them with whatever it is that they need to do. It's also, when we talked a little earlier about Alzheimer's and dementia, that's an area where we find a lot of reluctance, denial, that maybe it's not just normal aging, not willing to admit it might be something more. But we have a number of programs and a number of people who are so skilled that help families take the steps necessary so that they can get the care and get the services that they need.
You know, there are medical professionals who all advise us on medical things. You know, you have a problem, you go to the doctor, you get a diagnosis, there's a treatment plan. And MAC heads off a lot of that stuff. It helps inform that stuff through the different seminars and classes that are taught. But what fascinates me even more is the financial aspects of what is educated out there, where you have financial planners come in and help understand, because you know my role as my mother ages is going to be a financial role more than a caregiving role. I'll have some caregiving role, but the financial stuff is what's going to keep me up at night. So that's a great asset.
We have a series of sometimes just one type class or several weeks of classes. In fact, there are a number of programs we have that put on different classes, and while some of them relate to interests and hobbies, many of them are exactly around what you're talking about. What are the kinds of tools and information I need to help someone who's aging, once again, stay in place? The cost of nursing home care is just outrageous. So the more we can keep somebody in their home where they want to be, and that sometimes means taking over, as you said, financial responsibility and help, whether that's through power of attorney or just understanding what are some of the laws and what are some of the things I need to put in place.
You come to us from Tucson, Arizona, which is a retirement destination place. That's something that we've become here on the Lower Shore. Is there something unique in that senior population among people who have come here from somewhere else?
Well, I know for many people, you mentioned Tucson, Arizona, lots of them retire from colder climates.
Right.
So they're seeking a warmer climate. I think to some extent that's happening here on the Eastern Shore. I also think they're looking for a lifestyle change away from perhaps a more hectic urban environment. And of course, obviously, our beautiful waterways and oceans draw people. But with it come the challenges that we need to be prepared for of what's our housing looking like? Is the housing safe for seniors? Lots of times we can no longer do stairs as we downsize. What are some of the kinds of home safety and things that we need? And what are the access to services, the transportation links that we need? So I think as we grow, and I think it's a wonderful place for seniors to retire, we have to figure out how can we be age friendly? How are our communities looking at everything from parks to housing to streets to services to me, an age-friendly community.
Yeah, it's funny here in the community, the pickleball debate that we had last year
Yeah.
brought seniors out to these public hearings. Like I haven't seen seniors at events in a long time, and they were active seniors who wanted these pickleball courts.
That's right.
And it was great to hear the seniors getting involved in, wanting something back from government.
Sure. If you turn 65 or 70, you don't just stop. You want, you
And you
want
can't
to
run
get
around the
involved.
tennis court the same way.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So coming back to the expo for a minute then, that's another reason we called it Active Aging Expo, that we hope that people will come and find some engagements like that, Parks and Recs and the pickleball, or what they can do to be involved. And it's more than just the exercise, it's really that socialization, those opportunities for us to get together. And, our life changes a little when we retire and as we get older, and it's easy to just stay home and be isolated. And our hope is that people will come out and get engaged.
You talk about the leadership of MAC. They've had 2 executive directors in 50 years.
Yeah.
Peggy Bradford, who a monument should be built to her somewhere. She's actually my neighbor, so I see her all the time. So I love Peggy Bradford. And then Patty also has done a great job for at least 8 or 9 years.
really
I'm not
up to
sure
the-
how long it's been.
I think it's been 6 or so
Okay.
years, yes.
So Patty is stepping aside. A new leader is coming in. Paula Erdy from down in Whitehaven, another friend.
That's right, and she will start in July, and we're looking forward to that. Patty will step down in September, so they'll have some transition time. Patty has been an incredible innovator at MAC, and it was always hard when you follow footsteps of somebody as incredible leadership and
It's
founder
impossible.
as Peggy
Yeah.
Bradford. And yet Patty was able to do it,
Yeah.
and she made her mark, and I think she'll be sorely missed. But we're looking forward to, once again, this time of reflection when you hit your 50th anniversary. It's also a time for looking to the future. So while we're reflecting and remembering and looking at scrapbooks, we're now saying, what do the next 50 years look like? And how are we going to chart that course?
Yeah, we've got 2 other great community leaders, Dr. White, Charles White from the university, and certainly
He's
Dr.
leaving.
Donna Hanlon from the school board, both leaving their positions. And so much of their terms were filled with dealing with COVID
Right.
situations. Same thing with Patty, trying to keep the organization relevant and going and focused at a time when you really couldn't engage with seniors because of the pandemic.
You're absolutely right. And while everybody faced challenges during COVID, I think I'm safe in saying that seniors faced it even more. Maybe not being quite as quick to jump onto Zoom or even understand or have the equipment. Maybe not quite as quick to be able to figure out alternative ways from a routine that they establish. I think MAC has done an incredible job during the COVID era to try to keep seniors engaged. Many suffered from the isolation, but I think under Patty's leadership, there were a lot of programs that we were able to continue, modify, adapt, and not just shut down.
Right. Now I have to engage in sarcasm because I can't help myself.
Okay.
But I know MAC has plenty of money and they don't need any help from the community at all in terms of funding what they do.
Oh, yep, you're right. No.
What can we do to help?
No,
what
you're
money
right.
can we give? What will it go for?
Well, you're absolutely right. And all those programs we talked about, Greg, every one of them benefits from volunteer donations and volunteers who help out. There's never enough. Even with some of the federal funds that we get, it only pays a portion, sometimes less than 50% of what the program costs.
Right.
So we have to rely on local funding alternatives. United Way was certainly a big supporter. It still isn't enough. It's constantly, and we're always finding that there's always more we can be doing and should be doing. So yes, please go to our website. You can look at our programs. There's an opportunity to donate online. You can give any one of us a call. We'd be happy to give you a tour and talk about what we do. Come and see us at the expo.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to have an envelope for you.
Yeah. Well, one of the great things when you do donate, you get the newsletter.
That's right.
And that little newsletter is really informative and very interesting. It's a great read. I know it's paper and that's antique, but as a senior, I'm antique. but it's a great little newsletter.
And you can, and even if you're not that antique, Greg, you can still get it online. We can email it to you. But it is nice to pick up a piece of paper and read it. It is full of things. It's full of both stories. In fact, one about Norm Conway,
Right.
Which is great. We're doing some 50 stories about people involved in MAC's history. But it has things about what programs are relevant and what classes are going on. A little bit of highlights of different things. So doesn't cost anything. You don't have to donate to get the newsletter, but give us a call. We'll get you on that mailing list.
Okay. Remind me again all the details of the expo.
Yes. June 11th, Saturday. Starting at 10 a.m. at the Wacomico Youth and Senior Center on Glen Avenue. If you want to, there's a Souls for Senior walk that benefits the senior centers and the Life Bridges Dementia Program. You can form a team, come walk. You can register on the website. That starts at 8:30, and then there'll be a kind of an awards breakfast after that, and then
it's
the
kind of a
expo.
flashback to the St. Patrick's Day walk that used to have the Elks. That's sort of a return of that. Yes,
that's exactly right. In fact, it's the continued. It used to be a Souls for Senior walk. They stopped that. We've now, instead of the St. Patty's Day run, we've revived Souls for Seniors.
Right.
So it's a full day. Music and demonstrations. I think the Tidal Health Cardiology Department's doing some chair yoga exercises. There's all kinds of vendor booths. So please just drop by, come and see us, and sign up for that newsletter.
Yeah, one of the things we used to do, I forget what it's called, Living Well or whatever, at MAC, and the event grew so much that MAC wasn't big enough really to accommodate it. And we always said we should go to the Civic Center, so they're using the anniversary as a reason to do that.
That's right.
So it's going to be spread out if you've got COVID concerns, or it's not going to be packed in.
Right.
And it's going to be, it's just the perfect location. It really is. That's why we have our Civic Center.
That is why. And so the arena will be full of things. So you're absolutely right. You can wear a mask if you need to, and we will have booster vaccinations there.
Excellent.
So we encourage everybody to get a booster, particularly seniors, if you hadn't gotten that booster. So please come by and do that. That may not be the most fun part of the event, but go ahead and do it. And as I said, there's lots and lots of health screenings that Tidal Health will bring with them.
Right. Carol, tell me again what the website is and how we can reach MAC.
Yes, go to our website at www.macinc.org. That's MACINC.org. You will find the information about the expo there, Souls for Senior walk there, but also take a little bit of time and look at the program listing and some of those classes you were talking about, Greg. There might be something there that you've been thinking about.
Yeah, it's a great website. It's easy to use. The fonts are big. It seems really interactive. It's really easy, so there's no reason not to use the website.
Well, thank you, Greg, for having me on the show today. It's an opportunity to talk about all the things MAC does, and if anybody has any questions, you can give us a call, too, at 410-742-0505.
She's Carol Zimmerman from MAC Incorporated. We're thrilled she was here today. Their big expo is coming up. Be sure and check it out and help out MAC. We're all going to need MAC someday. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper. Another edition of 101 right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.